أهلا بكم أعزائي طلاب الصف الخامس. معكم مستر مجدي خلف ودرس جديد من دروس الساينس. النهارده إن شاء الله هنغطي الجزء الثاني من كونسبت 3.2 ويتبقى لنا جزء ثالث وأخير. ما تنسوش تعملوا السبسكرايب واللايك والشير وتفعلوا زر الجرس. لو عايز تسيب تعليق أي كومنت، عايز تسيبوا أي فكرة جديدة، أي نقد، مفيش مشكلة، أهلا وسهلا. وأنا باخد بكل الآراء وبتعلم منها كمان. Water of the earth. So water occupies 70% of the earth's surface. By the way, our bodies, yes, is formed of 70% water. So water forms 70% of our body. So water is found everywhere. So in water bodies, like this, what is this? Yes, stream, rivers, yes. How do you know it is a stream or river? Yeah, because it flows from higher place into lower place. That's why the water of rivers and streams running water. So fast moving water because they flow from higher place like mountains, okay, into lower places. So yes, it is a river. So the type of water is fresh water. Number two, location in mountains. So delta. What is delta? Look at this first. So this is a Greek letter. It's called delta. ده حرف يوناني اسمه delta. What is this? This is delta of Egypt. Yeah. So you see, this letter is triangular. Yeah. And this area of land is triangular. That's why we call it delta. So it is called delta because it is triangular shaped area of mud الهطين, and other sediments that form when a river meets a sea or a large river. So look at this again. So you see this area, yeah, it is a triangular, yeah, shaped area. That's why we call it delta. Easy. So the keyword, so triangular shaped area, it is delta. Formed, yeah, wind, mud, and sediment, okay, that forms when a river meets a sea or a large river. How is a delta formed? So steps here, but let me explain it in Arabic first and then in English. خليني اشرحها لكم بالعربي الاول، تمام؟ افهموها بعد كده هنتكلمها بالانجلش. احنا قلنا هنا الريفر ستارت فروم ا ماونتن فروم هاير بليس انتو لور بليس. عشان كده الميه بتعمل ايه؟ بتجري، بتتحرك بسرعه جدا. طب الميه وهي بتتحرك بتعمل ايه؟ برافو عليكم. شايفين كده؟ بتاكل في الصخور اللي موجوده هنا، تمام؟ وبتنحتها، بيحصل لها تاكل. طيب وهي ماشيه بتاخد في وشها ايه؟ قطع الصخور اللي اتاكلت، تمام؟ الفتات بتاع الصخور اللي اتاكلت، الطين، الرمل، الحصى، كل الحاجات دي الووتر وهو ماشي بيعمل ايه؟ بياخدها في طريقه. طب احنا قلنا الريفر اندز ان سي اور اوشن. دايما الريفرز بيبقى اخرهم بيبقى سي او اوشن. طيب بيجي هنا في الاخر خالص، اخر المجرى بتاع النهر، الميه سرعتها بتهدي خالص، والريفر بيعمل ايه بقى؟ بيحط كل السيدمنت بقى، كل الطين والرمل الحاجات اللي خدها في طريقه دي بيسيبها هنا في المنطقه دي، فبيتكون لي ايه؟ اهي تراينجلر شيبد اريا. المنطقه اللي عامله زي المثلث اسمها ايه؟ دلتا. يبقى عرفنا ازاي الدلتا اتكونت. طيب in English, a river often starts in the mountains as a stream. دايما النهر بيبدا as a stream، يعني جدول صغير او نهر صغير كده. واحنا عرفنا ازاي بيوسع. by eroding the valley، وهو بيعمل eroding، تآكل كده للارض اللي بيمشي فيها، تمام؟ بيوسع المجرى بتاعه شويه شويه. So fast moving water in a river can erode. واحنا عرفنا يعني erode، يعني بتاكل الحاجات دي وبتنقل، تمام؟ بيحصل لها تآكل الارض، بيحصل لها تآكل من الميه وهي ماشيه، وبتاخد كمان معاها erode transporting the broken down pieces into another place. So in a river can erode deep valley. So this is important. Fast moving water, yes, erode deep valleys. As the water moves quickly across the land, it picks up sediment. Picks up sediment. خلاص احنا عرفنا يعني ايه sediment. الرواسب كلها بقى، كل الرسوبيات بقى. يعني السيدمنت ده بيبقى الطين والرمل والحصى، كل ده اسمه ايه؟ sediment. So water picks up sediment as it moves quickly. So the flow of a river ends بينتهي فين when it meets a sea or a large river. So here is the end of water of rivers. So the water slow down. Here is the water slows down بتهدي and the sediment are deposited at the river's end point forming delta. So here is the sediment is deposited here. Deposited يعني settle down here يعني بيتحط هنا بقى. بينزل هنا في المنطقة دي بتسيبوا المية هنا في المنطقة دي. تمام؟ يعني ده عند الريفر هنا الدلتا. طب هنا يبقى ايه؟ قبل السي. حد فاكر؟ when the fresh water meets the salt water. Yes, it's very excellent. Excellent. And this is the sea. فهمناها كده؟ اتفهمت؟ طيب خلينا نروح للنقطة اللي بعدها. So another body of water, lake. So type of water. Most lakes contain fresh water and some of them contains, yes, salt water. Excellent. Location, low-lying area. So low-lying area من المناطق المنخفضة يعني. Low-lying area. So a lake is a large body of water surrounded by land. اتكلمت في النقطة دي قلت surrounded by land is a keyword for lakes. يعني في أي سؤال بيقول لي surrounded by land أعرف أطول بيتكلم على إيه؟ على الليكس. So a lake forms when water collects in a low-lying area. When the water collects in this area, low-lying area, so a lake is formed. يبقى هنا أنا عندي الكيورد في الليكس. So surrounded by land and the location in low-lying area. افتكروها عشان لما نيجي في الأسئلة أفكركم بيها. Next point. Wetland اللي هي زي المستنقعات المناطق الرطبة كده زي المستنقعات يعني. طيب type of water. So wetland contains fresh water and salt water. So wetlands contains fresh water and salt water. We have wetlands that contains fresh water and another wetlands that contains salt water. So location, land partially covered with water. Land partially covered with water. This is the keyword here. In any question, so when you read land partially covered with water, it is, yes, wetland. Like what? Swamps, marshes, swamps اللي هي المارشز مستنقعات يعني swamps or marshes and bogs. خلاص مش هنستخدم bond دي هنستخدم كلمة bogs دي. اوكي؟ عندنا example of wetland, swamps or marshes and bogs. اوكي؟ next دي اللي هي المارشز اهي وادي البوجز اهي. marshes, bogs. Next point, estuary. I think we know estuary very well. So estuary, the type of water, salt water and fresh water. Salt water from the sea, fresh water from the river. And here in between what? Estuary. Mixture of fresh water and salt water. So and estuary in between. So location where a river meets a sea or an ocean. Estuaries are home to thousands of plants and animals. Next, water body, groundwater, المياه الجوفية. So type of water, fresh water. So this is the groundwater, okay? Fresh water. In the cracks and the spaces of underground rocks. Cracks اللي هي الشقوق دي شايفينها؟ Cracks. So it is formed in the cracks and the spaces of underground rocks. So there is more amount of groundwater on earth than the water in rivers and lakes. So the amount of water under the earth's surface, okay, much bigger than or larger than the amount of water in lakes and rivers. تاني يبقى هنا دي نقطة مهمة جدا. So the water stored here in the cracks and the spaces of underground rocks, it is ground water. Next point. Ocean, type of water, for sure, salt water. Location, ocean surround the continents. Continents اللي هي القارات يعني. So continents اللي هي القارات. So ocean surrounds the continents اللي هي القارات. افتكروها قوي الكلمة دي. continents. So a large body of water that surround continents. يبقى على طول مين؟ ocean. All of the ocean are connected to each other. So we have 5 oceans by the way. في 5 oceans عندنا كلهم connected together. The ocean floor اللي هو القاع بتاع المحيط زي كده. Look, this is the ocean floor. You see has mountains, في mountains, plains, and plateaus. Okay. سهلة دي؟ في أي مشكلة؟ Earth's fresh water. Look at this, please. This is fresh water, but what quality of this water? Is it good quality or very bad quality? Very bad. You see polluted water. So what do you think if you drink some water like this? What do you think would happen to you? You would die, yeah? Or get sick. At least you get sick. So this is a very urgent problem. More than 10% of animals species live on the freshwater habitats. So here, 10% of animal species live on freshwater habitats. Like what? Freshwater habitats like what? Like rivers, like ponds, like lakes, like streams. Yes. So 10% of animal species take the freshwater habitats. Okay. Freshwater scarcity and quality. Freshwater scarcity and quality are the 2 main risks that threatens the world. So we have 2 changes here, or 2 challenges actually. So we have 2 challenges here: scarcity of water, quality of water. يعني دول تهديدين كبار بيهددوا العالم. scarcity of water معناها ندرة المياه، ان المياه تقل ما نلاقيهاش. scarcity. quality معناها جودة المياه. Okay. So next here. Poor quality of fresh water, polluted water has dangerous effect on living organisms. Give reason. When I say what happened or give reason, okay, for poor quality of fresh water, what happened? Number 1, the death of some, or you can see many living organisms every year. So living organisms would die every year if they drank some water like this. Number 2, the extinction يعني انقراض. Extinction معناها انقراض. The extinction of some species live in fresh water such as amphibians and some fish. Amphibians like frog, salamander. Yeah, they would become extinct if they exposed to polluted fresh water. طيب تاني بالعربي كده عندنا في هنا تحديين كبار او خطرين كبار هم: الخطر الاول scarcity of water، ندرة المياه قلتها. الخطر الثاني quality of water، جودة المياه. طب poor quality of fresh water، لما تكون الفريش ووتر ده polluted water، ملوث، ايه اللي هيحصل؟ the death of some living organisms every year. او عندنا extinction يعني انقراض بعض الكائنات الحيه زي الامفيبيانز اللي هم الفروج والسلامندر والتودز. اوكي and some fish. سهله النقطه دي. some questions. Delta is formed when the speed of water increase, the speed of water decrease, the amount of river's water decrease, or the river water dry up. What do you think? So delta at the end point of a river, yeah? So delta at the end point of a river. Do you remember this? Here is the delta, triangular here. So at the end point, yes, water slow down. So here the speed of water decrease. So delta is formed when the speed of water decreases. The amount of river's water, at the end of Nile River Delta, there is what between Nile River and Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean ده اللي هو البحر المتوسط. So what? A lake, a wetland, ocean, estuary. So what is between a river and a sea? Excellent. An estuary, yeah? So it is estuary is between them. Spaces are formed when water collects in low-lying areas. Low, do you remember? Low-lying areas. So what is formed? Yes, lake. Yes, a lake is formed in low-lying area. Among the kinds of wetlands, do you remember wetlands? So swamps, yes. Lakes, no. Ponds and oceans, no. Marshes and bogs, yes. Marshes and bogs are example of wetlands. Estuary is formed when the water of what meets the water of what? Do you remember? Yes, when the water of a river meets a water of sea or ocean. River and sea, between them, estuary. Next, the floor of may contain mountains and plateaus. Which floor? Yes, floor of, yes, ocean. So the floor of ocean may contains mountains, plateaus. Among the example of freshwater bodies in which more than 10% of the world's animal species live are, we said 10% of living organisms species take fresh water. So which one here fresh water? Which one? Which one? Yes, rivers and streams. They are fresh water. The type of water that is found in the sea is, for sure, the sea and the ocean, salt water only. People obtain their needs of what? That is found in lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater. So oxygen gas, seaweed, salt water, or fresh water. So it is what? Fresh water in lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater. Among the risks that threatens lots of water areas on Earth are, we have two threatens or two challenges. What are they? Do you remember? Yes, scarcity of water and poor quality of water. Next point, true and false. Now, number one, rivers often start in mountains in the form of estuaries. No, in the form of, yes, excellent, streams. Number one is false. It must be streams here. Valleys can be formed by rivers due to the fast movement of rivers water. Yes, yes, as water erode the valley, so it become larger and deeper. As a lake is surrounded by land and it is a low-lying area, yes, because it is a lake, so surrounded by land and the low-lying area. So yes, it's true. The type of water in wetlands is salt water only? No, wetlands contain salt water and fresh water wetlands. So we have freshwater wetlands and saltwater wetlands. There is an estuary between Nile River and Mediterranean Sea? Yes, for sure. Groundwater is formed in the cracks and spaces between underground rocks? For sure, yes. So this is yes. Ocean floor may have mountains, plains, and plateaus. Yes. High quality of fresh water leads to this of wow. High quality? No. It must be what? Poor quality. Poor quality, not high quality. Scarcity and conservation of fresh water are two main risks that threaten fresh water. So scarcity, yes, but conservation, no. Must be what? Scarcity and quality, yes. If not conservation, must be quality. So the last one, false. Right is a scientific term. So let's write quickly. Number one, a water body that often starts in the mountain as a stream. What? What starts in mountain? Excellent, river. So river starts in mountain. Number 2, a triangular shaped area of mud. Triangular. Do you remember? Yes, what? Yes, excellent. Delta. Triangular, so it must be delta. Yes. Next, 3, the large water body that is surrounded by land. Surrounded, do you remember? Surrounded by land. It must be what? Yes, lake. The water bodies that surround the continents. Continents. So continents اللي هي القارات. Surrounded by what? Yes, it must be large water body like ocean. So oceans surround continents. So it is a land area which is partially covered with water. Partially covered with water. So it is wet land. Yes. So remember the keyword, please. Partially covered with water, wetland. Surrounded the continents, ocean. Surrounded by land, lake. Triangular shape, delta. Okay. Number 6, a water body which contains a mixture of seawater and river water. So it must be what? Yes, estuary. Yeah. Excellent. The water that is stored in the cracks, spaces between underground rocks must be what? Yes, ground water. Excellent. Ground water. Okay, let's move to another point. Give reason quickly. So, can you think? Yes, of these as the first question. Can you think it over? Number 1, delta are formed at the river end. Give reason. Why delta is formed at the river ends? Do you remember? Because when the water, so here the answer is as the water slow down, so it deposits the sediment. So as the water slows down, it deposits the sediment. Okay, so it's enough. As the water slows down, it deposits the sediment at the end point. Okay, at its end point, if you want to end point or downstream. Number 2, here, groundwater is called by this name. Why we call it groundwater? Anyone has the answer? Because what? Because it is stored in the cracks and spaces. Cracks and spaces of underground rocks. Someone says, Mr. I will say because it is formed underground. Yes, it works. Okay, so the quality of fresh water affects the life of living organisms because poor water quality, okay, can cause what? Because, so here, because poor quality of water can cause the death of many living organisms and the extinction of some, or you can say extinction of amphibians. Okay, amphibians. So you say an extinction of some living organisms such as amphibians and some fish. So Okay, to be short, right, and previous. Okay, next point. So when the speed, this is complete, okay? So when the speed of water stream becomes high, it can erode deep, yes, deep what? Deep valley, yeah? Yes, valley, yes, it can erode deep valley. While when the speed of water becomes low, it can form what? Yes, excellent, delta. When the speed is low, it can form delta. Deltas are formed by the deposit of what? Sediment, yes. Deposit of sediment at the end point of the river. At the end of river, yes. The land that is partially covered with water is called what? Wetland. Excellent. Wetland. Next, when a river meets a sea and what? Estuary. Yes, an estuary is formed when a river meets a sea. When the water is stored in the cracks and the spaces of underground rocks, what is formed? Yes, groundwater. So groundwater. Yes. The extinction of some species that live in fresh water is due to poor what? Yes, poor quality of water. Poor quality of water. The type of water that is found in rivers, most of lakes and streams is fresh water. Fresh water. Okay, so next point. So the second part of our lesson, okay, I try to be short. Here. Freshwater resources are limited. Yes, we know that freshwater form only 3%. Yeah, so it is limited amount of water. So we must conserve this water. So please keep it in mind. Without using the water resources wisely معناها بحكمة يعني من غير ما نستخدمها بحكمة it leads to water imbalance. Please keep it in mind. Water imbalance بيبقى في عدم توازن هنا بقى. Water imbalance that causes drought or flood. Drought معناها جفاف, no water, or you can see the water bodies dry up. Floods, it means much water that wash out everything in its way that impact the living organisms. So here, water imbalance cause what? Either drought, no water, or floods, much water. So let's open. Humans use some strategies to control and conserve fresh water, like building dams across the river. So we build dams, yes, to control the fresh water, diverting or changing the path of water to irrigate crops. Human activities cause imbalance of water that lead to, I told you about here, imbalance of water lead to what? Number one, drought means shortage of water in some places like this. This is a drought. Here is a drought. You can see this is a drought, shortage of water, or flood, much water. This is because water imbalance. So water imbalance can cause number one, drought, or number two, flood. Next point. I'm sorry. What watershed? What does it mean, watershed? What would happen if there is imbalance of water in a watershed? So look at this area, please. You can see, look at here. Before I start explaining, you see this bay, خليج يعني خليج صغير. You see, when it rains here, okay, so all the water collects in this area, yeah? So all the water will be collected in this bay. So this bay or this area that the water collect in is called watershed. Easy? So watershed is a place where the water collected here. So where the water is collected in. This is watershed. So watershed. is an area of land, okay, where water from different sources, from rains, from, okay, floods, from different sources, flows toward a common location, usually an ocean or sea or other large water body. So here is, what is watershed? A place where the water is collected or drained. Easy. What is watershed? A place where water is collected or drained. Look at this. You can see here is a river, okay? Yes. And this river ends in this sea. And when it rains, the flow water or the runoff water, yes, it will be collected here in the same place. So we call this place watershed. Easy. Balance of water in watershed such as a river or a stream. What happens when the watershed in these two cases? Number one, if there is more rainfall, في مطر كتيرة جدا, the level of water increases causing floods. هنلاقي هنا مستوى المية هيعلى جدا جدا ويبتدي يغرق الدنيا كلها زي كده. طيب. If there is little rain, the level of water decrease causing drought. طبعا دي قلناها هناك. يبقى انا عندي الووتر شيد هنا. If the level of water increased, مستوى المية عالي جدا، هنقول ان في heavy rains مثلا هنا، مطر كتيرة جدا. طب ايه اللي هيحصل بقى؟ flood. طب هنقول ان مفيش مطر خالص ومفيش مية قلت خالص، هيحصل ايه؟ drought. easy. عرفنا يعني ايه ووتر شيد؟ مكان بتجتمع فيه الميه، اسمها ميه الامطار، ميه الانهار، كلهم بيتجمعوا في نفس المكان ده، هو المكان ده اسمه ووتر شيد. اوكي. tributaries are tributary. So tributary, okay? tributary. اوكي. طيب. there are في البريتش والامريكان نفس النقطه تقريبا tributary. So they are small water bodies such as small creeks or streams that flow into bigger rivers. عشان نفهمها بالعربي. Tributary معناها نهر صغير أو مجرى صغيرة أو قناة صغيرة، تمام؟ بتصب فين؟ في نهر كبير. تمام كده؟ ده اسمها tributary بالعربي اللي هي الروافد يعني، رافد يعني. خلاص؟ في صورة تاني هنا أوضح بكتير. شايفين هنا كده؟ أدي هنا في ستريم صغير أهو بيصب في النهر ده. الستريمز الصغيره دي اسمها tributaries. خلاص كده؟ الانهار الصغيره والجداول الصغيره والقنوات الصغيره دي اسمها tributaries. هيجوا هنا يصبوا فين؟ في النهر ده، والنهر ده يصب فين؟ في البحر او الاوشن ده. طيب tributaries، ولو معايا كده tributary. They are small water bodies such as small creeks or streams. Small water bodies such as زي ايه؟ small creeks or streams that flow into a bigger river. Water bodies are connected to each other. طب يلا نشوف بقى التشين ده هيبقى ازاي بقى في سلسله. Tributaries as small creeks or streams flow into bigger rivers, and bigger rivers flow into larger water bodies as bays اللي هي الخلجان يعني خليج, seas and ocean. يبقى هنا بيقول لك so water bodies are connected to each other. Tributaries flow into rivers and the river flow into sea. خلاص عشان لو جه سؤال تبقى عارف. So we start with tributary that flow into river and the river flow into a sea or ocean. سهلة. Tributary, river, sea or ocean. Tributary, small creeks flow into bigger river, and the river flow into ocean or sea. Next point. What happens upstreams? Upstream يعني المكان اللي جاي منه النهر فوق. What happens upstream أهو where the river starts. Yes. What happens upstreams in a watershed affects the water bodies downstream. يعني اللي هيحصل في أول النهر في المنبع بتاع النهر هيأثر في المصب بتاع النهر، هيأثر في الأوشن، هيأثر في كل مكان. يعني عايز يقول لك ان any pollution in any area will affect a bigger area will affect a large or much bigger area. كل حاجة هتحصل هنا في التريبيوتيري ده هتأثر في الريفر ده هتأثر في السي أو الأوشن ده. كلهم connected together مرتبطين ببعض كلهم. Upstream the place where a river starts أهو upstream downstream a place where a river ends. المكان اللي هينتهي فيه النهر هيبقى اسمه ايه؟ downstream. اوكي فهمنا التريبيوتيري؟ طيب tributary اوكي. طيب. هنا يعني كذا حاله بس يعني هنلخصهم قوي في النقطه دي. اوكي طيب we have here tributary وعندنا هنا الووتر شيد. طبعا سهل دلوقتي نقدر نعرف مين. ها عندنا هنا stream tributary tributary ادي الريفر اهو. الريفر هنا فلو انتو هيجي هنا في البي او في الاوشن او في السي. طيب هنفترض كذا افتراض هنا في كذا حاله. نمبر 1 if a factory is built near a tributary at the area A. فين area A؟ So say a factory is built here. A factory. هنقول ان في مصنع اتبنى هنا في المنطقه دي. اوكي and the factory هيعمل ايه بقى؟ dump its waste in the stream. هيرمي الويست بتاعه هنا في الستريم ده. سهل طبعا we can predict صح؟ So the waste move from the tributary into the river and the waste move from the river into the watershed. The factory waste affects the area and will be carried to the water bodies causing water pollution. هيحصل هنا water pollution. Okay. Number 2. If a dam is built across the tributary at area B. Where is area B here? Say we built a dam here. What happened? The amount of water will be affected. صح كده؟ كمية المية اللي هتنزل على الوتر شيد هتتأثر كتير صح؟ لأن الوتر شيد هنا تمام المية اللي هتجيله قليلة جدا. ليه؟ Because the dam holds the water behind it. So if we built a dam here, so the dam will hold the water behind. هيحجز المية. طب هنا إيه؟ The amount of water will be affected. The dam will hold the water behind it, causing change in the amount of water. Number 3. If there is a farm using a chemical fertilizer هنا اهو. Say this farm okay using chemical fertilizers يعني الأسمدة الزراعية يعني. Or pesticides المبيدات. What happened? The farm waste affects the area and will be carried to other water bodies causing water pollution. اتنقل الفارم ويست لايه؟ للwater and causing water pollution. The last case if a trash dump is established in area D. هنقول ان احنا هنا عملنا مقلب زباله في الحته دي. Someone says Mr. this is away from the water body. واحده يقول لي بعيد عن الميه يا مستر. كده مش هتروح للميه. لا هتروح بس بطريقه تاني. By what? Wind flow. When the wind blow لما الريح هتيجي يعني it carries the فاكرين المايكروبلاستكس؟ It carries the waste into the water body and causes water pollution. The litter اللي هي بالاي دي معناها القمامه. The litter of trash dump may be blown by wind into another water body causing water pollution. فهمناها النقطه دي؟ كده خلصنا الاسئله بتاعتنا بقى. يلا شوف بقى مين فهم ومين يعني نص ونص. اللي ما فهمش اللي فهم شويه شويه يعني قليل يقدر يفهم معانا الاسئله. Most of water on earth is most of water هيبقى ايه؟ Yes, salt water. قلنا salt water 97%. طيب salt water that is found in ocean and sea. قلنا salt water 97% of water. Number 2. The area of land where all the water flows to common location. All water flow to common location. كل الووتر هيجي في اللوكيشن ده. يبقى ده على طول بيتكلم على ايه؟ Watershed. فزوها لما يقول لي all water flow to common location يبقى على طول بيتكلم على ايه؟ Watershed. The level of water in a river may increase causing flooding when there is more for sure rainfall, when there is rainfall. Tributary usually ends by the flowing of its water into bigger. So number one, tributary. Number two, yes, bigger river. Okay, tributary, bigger river, and sea or ocean. So the correct flowing of water bodies that are connected with other is. Do you remember? We start with bigger rivers? No. We start with tributaries? Yes. We start with tributaries, bigger river, ocean. So this is the right order. Tributary flow into bigger river, and the bigger rivers flow into oceans or seas. So the answer is B. All the following reasons cause water pollution in a river except. So which one doesn't cause pollution? Building a dam. We said building a dam across river just affects the amount of water. لما هنبني سد مش هيلوث، لكن هو يعمل ايه؟ affect the amount of water، هيأثر على كمية ايه؟ الوتر. Which of the following can pollute the water of tributary by the effect of wind blowing? wind blowing، حد فاكر؟ liquid waste materials of factories, water that flows through dams, light litter of trash dump. فاكرين trash dump مقلب الزبالة؟ وان هو بعيد عن الووتر بس by wind. Yes, the waste will move or carried into water bodies. Next, true and false quickly. Do not take much time. We must conserve fresh water because it's limited on Earth. Yes, just 3% only. Building factories is from human strategies to control and conserve, not factories. Building dams. So we build dams, less سدود, to control fresh water. So number two is wrong, not factories, it's dam. When there is more rainfall, the level of water in rivers will decrease. No, more rainfall, so it will increase, causing flooding. So the problem here, the water of tributaries flow directly into seas? No, from tributary flow must flow in bigger river than into seas, not directly. So it's wrong. Must be bigger rivers in between. Upstream is the place where a river starts. Yes. Waste produced from factories that are built near a watershed can affect the quality of water in downstream. Yes. What is happening upstream? Yes, can. Waste produced from factories that are built near a watershed can affect the quality of water everywhere. So the quality of water will be affected everywhere. Complete the following sentence using the words below. Number one, some humans' activities may cause water what? Water pollution, I think, or water imbalance. So this is, yeah, number one. Some humans may cause water imbalance that leads to drought or flooding. What led to drought or flooding is water imbalance. So number one, imbalance. So quickly, number one, imbalance. Number two, when the rate of rainfall decrease, يقل يعني, the level of water in rivers will decrease. Yes. Causing what? Causing drought. So when the level of water decreases, it causes drought. جفاف يعني. Tributaries are considered as small that flow into bigger rivers than into larger water bodies as space and space. So start with tributaries, small what? Yeah, small creeks. So this is number one. So I write here small creeks. Okay, or what? Yes, streams. Excellent. So tributaries may be small creeks or small streams that follow into sea or ocean or a bigger river. Yeah. So in seas, okay. And what we have here, or bays. Okay, so bays here. We have bays here. So bays, I think it is watershed better than them. So which bays, creeks, imbalance seas, dams, streams, route? I think bays here. This is the only word we have here. Okay. So a farm that is found near a tributary may cause pollution to the water body if this farm using what? Chemical fertilizers. So right here, chemical fertilizer. Yes. Chemical fertilizers. Okay. Next. Building what across the tributary can change the amount of water. What can it change the amount of dams? Okay. So dams here. Yes. Dams can change the amount of water. Next point. This is the end. Okay. So I have finished. I hope I was successful today. I hope you got benefit. اتمنى اني اكون قدرت اوصل لكم اي افاده، يعني استفدتوا حاجه النهارده والموضوع بقى سهل. لو في اي مشكله، لو في اي حد ما فهمش اي جزء، لو في اي حاجه بليز اكتبوا لي في الكومنتس. سيبوا كومنت، اكتبوا اللي عايزين تقولوه، سواء كان نقد، سواء كان افاده، اشاره، اي حاجه يعني. سيبوا كومنت، خلينا نتواصل مع بعض. ولو في حد ما فهمش اي جزء او عايز تاكيد تاني على اي جزء، سيب كومنت وانا هرد عليك على طول. وتاكد تماما ان في الحلقه اللي بعدها اكون برد عليكم، واي طلبات تحت امركم. ما تنسوش تشجعونا باللايك والشير والسبسكرايب علشان نقدر نكمل ونواصل. شكرا ليكم، اشوفكم على خير الحلقه الجايه ان شاء الله.